Brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently. But watch yourselves, or you may also be tempted. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. If anyone thinks that they are something when they are not, they deceive themselves. Each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone else. For each one should carry their own load. Nevertheless, the one who receives instruction in the word should share all good things with their instructor.
Paul starts chapter 6 with a challenge. He says that if someone is living in sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently. But you need to be careful so that you are also not tempted. There are two things to note here. Paul seems to be talking specifically about the churches in Galatia. It seems to be talking about the members of churches in Galatia. The reality of living life as a Christian is that you and your friends will still sin. Paul is saying that when someone is caught in sin, you as their Christian friend should go and gently pull them out. But he also says to be careful not to fall into temptation yourself. As a kid, I used to go to the beach all the time, and my parents would tell me to swim between the flags because that's where it's safe. Now, if while I was swimming I found that I had drifted outside of the flags, I could have been caught in a rip. And in an Australian beach, if I were caught in a rip, I could be dragged out to sea in a moment of minutes. If I found myself out there, my family, either my mum or my dad or one of my brothers, they would have seen me there and they would have gotten on a bodyboard or something and dragged me back to shore. It would have been useless for my family to stand on the shore and berate me for being an idiot and not swimming between the flags. In the same way, it would have been useless for my parents or my brother to swim in the rip as well and try to pull me out, because then they would have been caught in the same rip. I think this is not dissimilar from what Paul is saying. When someone's caught in the rip of sin, it's useless for you to stand at the shore and tell them that you told them not to do that. What is helpful is to meet the person where they are, and while being sure that you're not getting caught out yourself, gently pull them back to safety. Paul is describing teamwork. He says to carry each other's burdens, and in doing that you'll be fulfilling the law of Christ. Now, I thought Christ set us free from the law. I think what Paul is doing here is drawing a contrast between the law of Christ and the law of Moses. The law of Moses was the law that the Jews in Galatia were following. The law of Christ is Jesus' commandment to love one another. So, in loving one another, we're actually doing Christ's work.